school too, and she's really interested in setting groups online and what she calls noisy idiots. So I'm going to let her talk about that. No, her name is Catherine White.
Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm here to talk to you tonight about the thesis that I wrote recently at ITP called The Noisy Idiot Dilemma. I am fascinated with how we communicate together online and how we talk together online. But there are sometimes problems, and specifically I looked at how we deal with people like this, the ones always with their hand up. They're not malicious, they're just hard work, and they exhibit behavior that's noisy. And so those are the type of people I really wanted to look at because we see them everywhere. Specifically, I took a class with Clay Shirky and I looked at a website called Europa. It's the European Union's website. They wanted to get people talking, and in this website there were people that were very difficult. They were kind of UK nationalists. And this was the conclusion from looking at the conversations on this website. First one, not so good. Second one, it's really difficult to have conversations online with lots of groups of people. And we really do need to get better at it because it's not just us that like to talk in forums online. Everyone does. So I devised a study method. I looked at 6 online groups, 6 most popular conversations within those groups, and wanted to see how the groups were structured. But most importantly, I just wanted to look at what people were doing in these groups. So I sat and listened in a variety of different groups. Babies and moms in urban babies, a student room, young people, coffee party, brand new group, gossip site, that was for my own personal enjoyment. And zillions of conversations and thoughts, well, 35, okay, not zillions, but lots and lots of thoughts. People really do like to talk online about all sorts of things. Companies now want you to talk about their products. We expect to converse these days. And these are some of the things we were looking at. An amazing variety. We've gone from being a broadcast culture to a conversation culture. It's two-way now, and we all want to talk. Coffee Party was amazing. 2 issues. 1, they're new, so they're defining what they stand for, but 2, people really want to come and talk on their site. They're inviting people to discuss. And there was one thread where they were worried about how they were going to go about doing this, and you can see in the red here, what are we going to do when lots of people come? We're okay now, but disruptive people are going to come along. How are we as a group, and this is important, as a group going to handle these types of noisy people? Well, you can't shut them out because that's really bad. You just get an echo chamber of everyone talking about the same thing, and you can't stifle free speech. So how do we build parameters? How do we allow everyone to have their say but without derailing? And what I found was that at best we can think of the online conversation sphere as a playground. Yes, there's a teacher walking around to make sure that Johnny doesn't decapitate Jimmy, but at the end of the day, the way it works is by the group itself, the kids realizing how we play together. Secondly, we take for granted that ever since we were teeny, we've been taught how to raise our hands, how to wait for other people to talk, how to listen, the collective eye roll of the group that you can see when there's a pain in the ass there. We have that in the real world. So how do we do this online? 2 aspects of conversations in groups, that for groups is, one is elasticity. If you have an elastic group having an elastic conversation, you can bounce back when something bad happens. Secondly, you need oil in an engine, you need oil in your conversation so that things don't grate, or when something does grate, it doesn't grind the whole system to a complete stop. So how do we have elastic and oily conversations? Well, it depends on the type of conversation that you're trying to have. Are you trying to make a decision? Are you trying to just talk? Think of it like mixing in levels, and you need different ingredients and different levels of stuff depending on the outcome. So some of these ingredients, humor's really good, guys. Really helps smooth things out when things get ruffled. Courtesy, you can't see each other. So say thank you, say please when you're online. Yes, you've got to manage the trolls as well. Be straightforward when you talk. Ask questions. People like to know that you are indeed listening to them. Debate and argue, but have some empathy. Understand other people's points of view. I was quite surprised when I undertook this research. It's really not rocket science. You devise a thesis and you want it to be amazing, and it came back to some very real old world principles. And the next step I want to do is try and figure out how we do this better online, because there are still issues. So I would appreciate everyone's help if you want to contact me, and thank you very much for listening.